circuits and smiles. Nuts.
Hey there, Transformers fans, Porchadork here, and I'm doing another video review. This time I'm doing a video review of the Transformers United Thunder Tank Megatron. I don't know where they got the name from. I think we all know which Megatron this is. It's obviously supposed to be the Hero Megatron, or Archforce, depending on where your loyalties lie. He does indeed not come with a deco or sticker that says Megatron rules, so who could he be? Who knows? He might not be Hero Megatron, he might be Archforce. Anyways, this figure obviously has a very G2 aesthetic going to it, which is why I picked it up. I'm really into G2 all of a sudden with my collection. I've recently got a G2 breakdown, and I already had the G2, the TFCC G2 Seeker that was released a couple years ago. And I've got some other characters that have kind of a G2 theme, so I'm going for the whole G2 thing recently. Talking about Megatron here, he is a repaint of the 2-pack Megatron from the Classics line that came out several years back. He's got kind of like a purplish with this sort of turquoise looking blue and some oranges throughout. There's some black. Just a really kind of a gaudy color scheme, which I love. Kind of a neat toy. For a size comparison in vehicle mode, here he is with the G2 Prime mold. This one being, of course, the 2012 Shattered Glass Optimus Prime, but you can kind of see a comparison there. Prime is definitely bigger. Pull him up. Side by side here, you can see Megatron's a little bit wider and taller, but all in all, they're a good scale match. So, features with this. Obviously, it's a tank, so it rolls. Not that that's a big surprise to anybody. It has a rotating turret here that can go, if I don't pop it out, can go a little bit up and down, which is kind of cool. This piece is a removable piece that you can put on and off. And then it's got a handgun here that can work on the top that has a little spot back here like a guy would hold it. I'm not really sure what that feature is for, how important it is to anybody. The interesting thing is he doesn't have a G2 Decepticon symbol, which I will be adding with a repro label later. But, yeah, it's got a pretty good vehicle mode. The transformation is pretty simple. Pop the gun off here, and let me get in here where I can get a better handle on it. The first thing that you would want to do is go ahead and crack the legs so that they come loose, and then split them up here, and then bring the entire abdomen down and forward, snap it into place like that. Then you just bring his feet out and flip the toe out. One interesting piece of trivia is this is the first version of this mold that I'm aware of that the feet come assembled properly. With the mold that I had before, this was the front of the feet, which was kind of interesting. You had to take the feet apart and put them in the right way to get the transformation to work right. But up here, you just want to go ahead, you just want to separate the top of the tank piece, and they just fold out, rotate it around. There is a little spot where the arms lock into place here. And I've noticed in general, this particular version of the toy has got some loose stuff to it. That keeps popping out. Then you rotate the hand, and basically, you've got Megatron. So, let me pop him back there and get a focus going on. In this one, you can see a little bit more of the turquoise and black, but otherwise, it's pretty much the same thing. He does also have a very light purple, almost Beast Wars-esque paint for his face and red eyes, which is kind of cool. No light piping, despite the fact that he does have a crystal there. They painted over the eyes, as far as I can tell, so it doesn't actually have any light piping, which is unfortunate. He has the handgun here, which he can hold in this hand only, because he only has one hand. This one here has a gimmick where you can bring that forward and press this button, and this thing spins. Woo! Don't run at me with my spinning wheel of death, Optimus Prime, or you will be sorry. Yeah. Not a big fan of that feature. You can see here, he basically has a nub for a hand. I've heard people say that you can pop this tip off and stick it on here to give him a hand. I was forcing it and having a hell of a time, and I couldn't get that to work. I think it just looks best when you leave it like that, kind of with his arm cannon sort of to the side. But it's a very G2 Megatron that I love. Let me bring in the G2 Optimus Prime, so you can see how they sort of stand up next to each other. You may notice that this G2 Optimus Prime has the repro labels applied to it, which is pretty neat. And actually, I could probably show that off really quick. The repro labels that were added were those shoulder pieces. Zoom in a little bit here. For these shoulder pieces here, he has some knee pads added. The front of the truck has this cool chromed grill piece added, lights, this grill part here, so I guess the bumper's chromed, and then this part is chromed, has the lights, and then here on the bottom you can see he has tail lights. I think it was only like $4 for the repro label set, and honestly it adds a lot to the figure, so I recommend you pick it up if you have that particular Prime. But they look pretty nice together, and I like the G2 Megatron, Thunder Megatron, whatever you want to call him. I think it's a nice pair. If you have a G2 collection, he's probably something you should definitely add to it. As a figure, not that great. I think the addition of an actual arm/hand would make this figure go from a meh to probably a really good one. I have been making molds and making new items lately, so one of the things I'm going to tackle is getting this guy a hand. It'll probably be something that I might try to put up on Shapeways, or maybe I'll make molds and cast it myself and sell them, but it's something the figure desperately needs. So yeah, like I said, not a whole lot to say, pretty simple mold. Would I recommend that you pick it up? I got this guy for like $35 shipped. At that price, I'm perfectly happy with him, and I think he looks great in my G2 collection. He's got somebody, Optimus has somebody to square off against that's a leader. I think it's worth it. So, thanks for watching the review, and if you have any questions, make sure and leave a comment down below, and I will be sure to answer it and get back to you. You guys have a great day.